My name is Jennifer Sistrunk, and I am a South Haven resident. I live in Casco Township with my husband and two children. I am a lifelong resident here. I've volunteered in a number of leadership positions. A few of those include I've been the Lincoln Elementary Parent-Teacher Organization President. I am on the Diversity Coalition, a member of the South Haven Community Scholarship Foundation. Just a handful of things, coach various sports, things like that. Been pretty diverse in the community with my children. And also, right now, I currently sit as the executive director of the South Haven Visitors Bureau. So the South Haven Van Buren County Convention and Visitors Bureau, we are the destination marketing organization for South Haven, Van Buren County, and Casco Township. And so we are responsible for destination development, marketing, providing resources to our guests, things like that, and just making our place a great place to visit and try to entice folks to come and see us. So our funding, the South Haven Van Buren County Convention and Visitors Bureau, we are funded through legislation. It's called Public Act 59. It's put in place in the mid-'80s that requires lodging facilities that have 10 transient rooms or more to collect a 5% assessment from guests that book with them. And when we say a transient facility, we define that as a space that is for sleeping, for rent, for less than 30 days or more. And that also includes management companies as well. So the lodging management companies that may have 10 homes, they are also required by law to collect a 5% assessment, and that comes to us to do the things that I mentioned previously. That is our sole source of income, is our 5% assessment. We do not collect anything else. We work with other agencies that may apply for grants and things like that, but the Visitors Bureau itself does not do any fundraising or grant writing. We are one of the very few convention and visitors bureaus that really invest in destination development. So we've got a long list of those things that we work on, but just an example right now, we just installed 22 bike racks in town. They were all fabricated by a local fabricator that made all of those. We also commissioned artists to paint all of those. They're all local as well. And so that, we see bikes tied up to those all the time. So everything was created locally. Locals use those. Additionally, we host a field trip with 150 fifth graders every year to teach them the importance of taking care of our environment and trails and things like that. We also work with the DNR, a couple of nonprofits. There's a church that comes and helps us out with that. We make a significant donation to them as well. So as far as projects, those are just a couple. We're putting in a kayak launch. We purchased property for a kayak launch here in town, and then we donated that property to a local organization that in turn applied for a grant in order to get that done. So another project we're working on. As far as events go, we host just a few events. We have New Year's Eve here in South Haven where there's a fireworks show because we love fireworks. That's free to the public. We also host our Holiday in the Park event, which is right across from City Hall in one of our lovely parks. It's also free of charge. Kids get to take pictures with Santa, have treats, things like that. So yeah, those are just a couple of events, couple of things that we do to enhance the community. And I think that folks just are unaware of how we operate or how these dollars are reinvested into the community. I like to give a good example of these guests. They come in and they spend a significant amount of money on lodging, but they also spend money on food, beverage, retail, and if you look at our downtown, the majority of those are locally owned. You also go to any of our local softball games, soccer games, you look on the backs of those kids' shirts, and you see, places like Clementine's where our guests come and they spend money, and then they take that money and they give that back to our schools and sponsorships. If you look at most of our events in town that we do not host, we don't need sponsorships or anything like that. We don't take any money from anyone. But other nonprofits that put together these events with just sponsors, you look at those sponsor lists and they are, again, all of those same merchants and restaurants downtown where the guests have come and kept them afloat, and now they're in a position where they can give back. They do that in many different forms. I've seen it happen with parks. They donate in that capacity. Just having that strong downtown locally owned business that we do, and we have a lot of that, and our locals and business owners are very willing to share whenever it's necessary. So one of the things obviously that we all have in common is a lake. I would say essentially that's probably one of the only things that we have in common. Yes, we all have tourism, but some of those industries have different resources to gain income. Also, we're geographically a little bit different. South Haven is very walkable. You can park your car downtown and walk wherever you need. Visitors can walk wherever they need. Locals can walk wherever they need. We've seen a shift in the past few decades with manufacturing. They don't really exist as much as they used to, so those opportunities aren't there. I guess we're similar in the lake, but besides that, there's just not much similarities for us. Growing up in South Haven, to me, just from my eye as a child, it hasn't changed much. I always loved the town. I went to the beach just like the rest of us do. I can't speak for, I wasn't around during a time where there was a ton of manufacturing, so I can't speak to that. I believe that we have always been a tourist town, and I know some people hate to hear that we will always be a tourist town, but throughout my life, this is exactly how I've seen it and how I've perceived it, from a child's eyes and an adult's eyes. And so I see us growing in a positive way. I see more business, maybe not in manufacturing, but I do see more business. I see more beautification downtown. Our parks are being taken care of a little bit better. If you look at some historical photos of the riverfront, at one point it went through a significant landscape change there. That's, it's just, I think for the better, just the overall beauty of the town has gotten better. I think that people should know that the ones that are driving this, and when I say this, the tourism industry and trying to enhance our community, we live here and we love this community just like they do. And we would not do anything that would harm our community. We would intentionally, I guess I should say, we would never intentionally do anything to harm our community. And we all essentially want the same thing. We all want to live here. We want to work here. We want to enjoy our time here, enjoy the community. And I would hope that we all want to share that with others that come here. The saying is like, we have always been a tourist town, and we are a tourist town, and I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon, as long as we've got the lake in our back door. I understand that things have to change with the times, and there are opportunities to stop and say, hey, are things working? But for those naysayers that just say stop, we shouldn't have any more tourism, I just don't think that's a reality. Love our town the way we love our town, the way that guests do. We love it. Why can't we expect that anyone else wouldn't love it too? Yeah.
Do you ever feel like potentially victimized because you work in the tourism industry?
Sometimes as the face of South Haven tourism, essentially, when you say you're the executive director of the South Haven Visitors Bureau, there's a certain thing that goes with that. I will say, with my history in the community and because I do other things, that doesn't define me just because I am the executive director of the Visitors Bureau. I am also a member of the Diversity Coalition. I am also, a member of the firework committee here in town. I am also a resident. I also have kids that go to school here, and just I pride myself on trying to take every opportunity that I can to give back to those things. If I have an opportunity to benefit the diverse community, I will do that. If I find a way that the Visitors Bureau can give back to the school, I will do my best to try and find a way to do that. And as an example, I mentioned earlier, with the field trips, things like that, just make sure that we acknowledge Pride months and, Juneteenth and all of those things. If there's an opportunity to do that, yes, our sole job is destination marketing. It's in our legislation. We have to. There's no choice.
Yeah.
The legislation says we collect the 5%, we do destination development, and we market. But if there's an opportunity to integrate some of those things that we all want into this community into that, we take every opportunity to do that.